right-hand corner, there is a little speech icon, so you don't actually have to mute yourselves to speak. If you have any questions during the live stream, then just drop them in the comment section and throw them in there, and then Max and our friends from MongoDB will answer them during the session. And also this session is being recorded, so this will be on YouTube afterwards in case you want to follow up afterwards. And Max, are we good to go?
Yes, we are.
Amazing. Cool.
Right.
Let's go.
Let me try this again. Okay, I think you see my screen, right? But I should probably make it bigger.
Yes. Yes, can you zoom in just a tiny bit?
Yeah, I can. I have a super big screen.
That explains the weird shape too. Oh, okay, yeah, that's a little bit better. Yes. Can you do it one more?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's perfect.
There you go.
Okay,
Let me
stage
also
is
zoom
yours.
in the other one. So yeah. All right. Hello, everybody. So today I wanted to show you how we can use Gitpod as a way to be always ready to code when you develop applications on top of MongoDB. So we see that developers are increasingly shifting from developing on their laptop to developing in the cloud. And I feel that that's a great way to do development because you have everything ready for you. And in particular today, I'm going to show you how in this repository where I built a quotes API application on Node.js, I can use Gitpod as a way to look at the code and specifically review pull requests without having to go anywhere else and without checking out code on my laptop. And because this application, as you'll see soon, uses Atlas at MongoDB as a database, specifically in Atlas, and then we use search for fuzzy text search, and that is a capability that is available in our data platform in Atlas. Then you see how with Gitpod and a way to set up workspaces is possible to get up and running with a database seeded with sample data and everything that you need to start developing. So this is the repository, but in particular, I would like to focus on a pull request that I created earlier on this repository. Now I'm pretending to be the person that needs to review this pull request. And what I would traditionally do is I would check out the branch where this PR is, set up a local MongoDB and test the code against it and then give feedback on the PR. But because I'm using Gitpod, I can just click on the button over here, and then I'll wait for roughly 30 seconds or so. And the container image is being pulled, it's being created, and as the environment starts, you'll see that in a second, it will also start creating the database on Atlas. So there's a script here that is about to run. And I'm also going to switch.
Sorry, Max, can you just zoom in a little bit?
Oh, yeah,
this
one too.
Yes, please. Thank you.
Visible?
Yeah, so much better.
So we can follow what's happening here in the terminal, but basically there was somewhere the Atlas CLI started an environment in MongoDB Atlas, and I'll show that to you in a second. And then once that was done, the MongoDB shell was run, we loaded some sample data, and the database is now ready to go. And we have the preview of our API playground here. But let's maybe dissect a bit what happened. So first of all, when Gitpod started the environment, we ran a number of different tasks. So we created our Atlas cluster, basically. First of all, we are checking that if you are already an Atlas user or not. If not, it will offer you possibility to sign up. But otherwise, it will start your cluster, and then it will unzip a local copy of some testing data. It will load it up into the cluster. It will also create an Atlas search index, which is useful to do fuzzy search on your dataset. And then Gitpod will open the app.js file, which you see here on the left, and it will also do this sync done task. And if you have more questions about this, then probably someone from Gitpod on the line will be able to answer it better than I can. But basically, if I now briefly switch to my database deployments in MongoDB Atlas, you see that I have this funny looking cluster name, MongoDB develop quotes API with a random string here. And that's exactly the name of my Gitpod environment. And that cluster was created for me as the workspace started. And now we can take a quick look at the application here. You see that I have a couple of endpoints. I don't know if you are a Node.js developer, but if you are, this is basically a simple Express application where I have a random endpoint and a search endpoint. And we can run these endpoints simply by clicking on the buttons here in the playground. So if I try the random endpoint, you'll see that I get one random quote from our database. And if you click on the search endpoint, it gets a number of quotes with the search key, I think, is something with friends, if I remember correctly. And just to double check, this is actually the data that lives in my Atlas cluster. We can go here, browse our collections, and you'll see that I have a quotes DB with the quotes collection, and all my documents are here. And this is exactly what my application inside Gitpod is pulling from the database. So I find that this is a pretty cool way to on an application or to review a PR, because as you saw, I didn't have to set up anything. Everything was already there for me. The database was created on the fly, and the application was up and running as soon as the environment has started. I can also terminate the environment now, and if I do so, the workspace will stop. You'll see here that if I go back to my databases, the cluster is being terminated. So if this were to be a paid cluster, I wouldn't spend any money in addition to the one that the money I spent during the review of my pull request. And I'm back here with the PR ready to be merged. I can press on the merge button, and I only spent 5 minutes checking what happened with this PR. So this was my demo. Nothing particularly fancy, but there was a lot going on under the hood that made the process so smooth.
Amazing. Thank you. I don't know if we've got any questions. Does anyone in the audience have a question for MongoDB whilst we're all in this call? I actually have one, but I'm waiting for everyone else to drop a question. If not, I will ask my question. Okay, I'll ask now. So my question
Please.
is, so whilst you've been playing around with Gitpod and seeing how you can work with MongoDB and Gitpod together, what is one thing, like one feature you wish that you had? Is anything missing?
On Gitpod?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think so. One thing that was a bit painful, but then in the end we found the solution was there wasn't a built-in way to have a how would I call it, like termination hook. So when the workspace terminates, you have to do some workarounds to to catch the event and be able to trigger what in our case is a command on the Atlas CLI to terminate the cluster. And so that was something that kind of stopped me at the beginning. But then I did some research. I saw that you had like a similar issue open in your Gitpod repository on GitHub, and there were a few workarounds there suggested that one of them worked very well. But in the same way, I can hook into the startup event. I wish I could hook into the teardown event. You're muted, Pauline.
Awesome. Yeah, no, that answered my question. Cool. I will definitely share this internally as well. I found that super interesting. I was saying that Axon just shared the issue link on the chat if anyone wants to look at that. And another question was just, could you share the link to the repo that you showed?
I can, yes. And yeah, and as a matter of fact, watch out on our developer center, the MongoDB Developer Center. So like mongodb.com/developer, because I will publish this as a blog in the next few days, but I will share the link, yes.
Awesome. In the meantime, if anyone has any questions for MongoDB whilst we're all still on the call, feel free to unmute yourselves or just write a comment on the chat. The community is quiet today. And usually when we have these office hours, just as an FYI, they tend to run very quickly because we ask someone to do a demo, and because it runs in Gitpod, it's very quick. So it's like half an hour or even like 20 minutes, 15-minute the office hour is actually 15 minutes because it runs, unless we have like issues with workspaces. But yeah. Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing.
I have to say that it didn't take a lot of time to set it up at the beginning either. Like when I first did the first proof of concept, it took probably maybe an hour to get going. Then I refined it, and you guys helped a bit as well. But it was really straightforward to set up, and I feel that having the ephemeral development environment in conjunction with the ephemeral cluster and ephemeral data gives developers the ability to get going quickly and just get rid of the resources they don't need, so they don't pay extra.
Yeah, absolutely. And are you using Gitpod for most of your development and MongoDB, or is this like a side team?
So it's a side thing. I do use it for a few internal projects, but I mostly do them for fun. I don't think we use Gitpod at scale at MongoDB, but I think and maybe like I have to say that like the development that most of our engineers do with the core server maybe is a bit like heavy on resources, and they prefer to use dedicated workstations. But for like web projects, for things like what I did with this demo, I think it's perfect because like really it's super quick and super intuitive to get going.
Cool. Yeah, that's interesting. Again, interesting feedback that I will pass that on internally. I don't think we have any more questions from anyone, so I think we can close off here. This is probably the quickest office hour we've had, which shows that this integration works super well. But yeah, thank you so much, both of you, for joining us. Feel free to use this space to just promote anything that you have coming up, if there's anything you want our community to check out.
Of course, well, this was easy enough, but yeah, as you said, nothing broke, and that means the integration works pretty well. Like I think with the Atlas CLI driving the Atlas resources and the clusters, and the way that we could integrate that into Gitpod really made the experience super smooth. But yeah, same goes for us. If anybody has questions in the future about how to work well with like MongoDB and Atlas and Gitpod, I'll keep Discord running. I have to say that I'm a Discord newbie, so I had to install it for this particular event. but I'll keep hanging out here. If anybody has questions, feel free to reach out or just open an issue on the repository and we'll try to answer your questions.
Awesome. Is there anything from you, Jacob?
No, I just wanted to thank you for hosting us today. Yeah, it was. I didn't expect it to be so quick, but yeah, the demo was very smooth. I'm glad everything worked out. So yeah, I'm looking forward to having more tighter cooperation moving forward.
Yes, awesome. And we've got several other collaborations coming up, so that's super exciting. Awesome.
Indeed.
Well, we'll end it here then. Thank you both so much. And yeah, let us know if you have any questions, just drop them in our Discord server and we'll make sure we pass them on. Cool. Thank you, everyone.